Okay, up we go. Thankfully it's well signposted around here. Not going to Hitorizawa today, but I do recommend it if you want to see fireflies in early summer or want to watch people farming, because in the wide valley there are acres and acres of public allotments. But yes, as I've said before, I'm heading to Kamakura along the Tenin hiking trail. Before we do rise up to the roof of Yokohama, the trail leads down still has lovely autumn colours here because we're in a sheltered spot just below the peak of the mountain where the zoo is. Morning. Actually on concrete at the moment, but still very silent, or comparatively by Japanese standards. You can hear traffic away in the distance and PA announcements probably at the zoo, but anyway, I'm going to leave this switched on for a minute just so you can enjoy the autumn colours with me. Hard to believe it's the 29th of December, but fantastic colours in the trees. It's the Japanese maples. Sadly they don't produce maple syrup, but they do produce lovely autumn colours. This area where we are now is actually called Kanazawa Nature Park, and it includes the zoo and a children's playground, but also forests and marshes. It's worth a visit in and of itself. It's quite convenient from Kanazawa Bunko Station. You can hike up or take a bus. And of course, if you are heading to Kamakura, like me, do keep an eye out for the regular signs that will help guide you on your way. So the sign for the Kamakura hiking trail has pointed me along this wooden causeway through the marshes. Lots of hikers joining the trail. It is really nice to walk to Kamakura through the mountains, get away from the buzz of the world's largest metropolis for a few hours. And it's difficult to get lost along these causeways, even though they do zig and zag, because ultimately they should bring you out at a large set of steps that will lead up towards the highway, but ultimately on towards Kamakura. If on the off chance you ever wonder what Kanazawa means in English, it means golden marsh, and zawa or sawa means this kind of terrain, marshland, often with streams running through it. Anyway, enough of the nature lesson, up the steps I go. Now the top set of steps are blocked off, I'm guessing probably because of landslides caused by one of the frequent earthquakes or typhoons that afflicts Japan. So, up these steps here. When you get to the top of the stairs, go to the left and keep walking on. We're parallel with the highway now, the Yokohama Road. Now the sign on the highway that says Asahina tells me that we're coming towards the pass that forms the boundary between the southern suburbs of Yokohama and Kamakura. I must say though that the Yokohama Road is a feat of civil engineering, traversing the Miura Peninsula down from Yokohama to the Pacific, sometimes hugging the coast, sometimes traversing mountains or valleys, and connecting the people of the peninsula with Yokohama and Tokyo. When I briefly stopped for a break and a drink, I was at the front entrance to Kanazawa Zoo, but this is the back entrance. And here, the sign tells you where all the animals are located in the zoo. Really is a lovely zoo. A vegetarian zoo, by the way. All the animals, the koalas, the kangaroos, the zebras, the giraffes, the elephants, the goats, they're all plant eaters. Look at that. Miura's answer to Spaghetti Junction. I've never bothered to learn what these winter flowering shrubs are called, but they are very nice.
Very nice.
I'm going to be going back under the highway again in a minute. I think they're still expanding this highway. Roadworks on a hiking trail. Only in Japan, eh? Yep. Get close to nature. Relatively. Look at that. Yeah, they are doing a big job on it, aren't they? We're close to the highest point in Yokohama, but even up here, Japan can't escape the reaches of its voracious civil engineering projects. And under the highway, we will go yet again. I remember the first time I came this way, it was probably 10 years ago and more. And it's almost unrecognisable now from what it was then. Time doesn't stand still here. That's the great thing about hiking in Japan. The expansive views. Believe it, this was just sort of moorland when I first lived around here 15 years ago and more. Now I can't be absolutely sure which way to go here, but Kyoto Plaza I think is off towards Konendai, another southern suburb of Yokohama, more to the due south, though I live in the southeast of Yokohama, so I'm gonna take a chance and just keep going straight in the hope that I'm heading towards Kamakura. The last few minutes have been a bit of a downer in what was before that a pleasant hike, but hopefully I'm getting away from the highway now and I can continue on. Yeah. Wow. Not quite as idyllic as it used to be, but hopefully that will hopefully it'll become more idyllic later in the hike. Kanazawa Shinmin no Mori, Kanazawa Public Forest. Yeah, I do vaguely remember this actually. Although, like I said, I first hiked along here well more than 10 years ago. In fact, I lived here a couple of years before I realised you could hike to Kamakura. Not very fast on the uptake. I mean, I've always loved Kamakura, but I used to go there by train or bus. Now, it's nice to have another option, which is walking there. Ideally through the hills. See, this, yeah, definitely remember it now. Remember this scene. This is the Zawa, or the Sawa, in Kanazawa, a marshy mountain stream. Kanazawa meaning the golden mountain stream. There is actually a city called Kanazawa on the Japan sea coast, one of Japan's most notable historical cities. But Kanazawa here in Yokohama served as the mountain entrance and indeed the port to medieval Kamakura, the shogun's capital. So Kanazawa was, or Miura, Kanazawa's port, was kind of Kamakura's Ostia or Piraeus. Here's a sign displaying information about the local wildlife, everything from dragonflies to tanuki, raccoon dogs, kingfishers, frogs and more. I know you can't stop progress, but it's sad to see that they're building highways at such a rate when the world is looking to decarbonise. And I do feel sorry for the nature here, which is still being encroached upon at an alarming rate. I'm going to turn away from the Sawa now. Just check this sign. Omaruyama. Now, I do know that that is the highest point in Yokohama City, and it straddles the border with Kamakura, so hopefully I'm going the right way. Across the bridge and up the steps. So I will be going to the highest point in both Yokohama and Kamakura and this area at the head of the Miura Alps. What a staircase it is, wow. Goes right up there.